What's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Q-Tip, and we're back with another video. It's going to be a little bit different today. It's still basketball related, but it's not women's college basketball. It's not NBA. It's not men's college basketball. It's not WNBA. It's not WNBL. It's not whatever. It doesn't matter. It's 1v1 basketball, which if you know me, well, I won't say if you know me, but if you've grown to know what I enjoy watching in terms of basketball through this channel, I don't know what I was about to say, through this channel, then it's kind of the opposite of what I typically would enjoy. But I love the space of one-on-one basketball in YouTube. Shout out to the Next Chapter. They are a big piece of that. They have a big part of that. Also Off the Dribble and Ball is Life, and tons of others like June's League, Free Smoke Tour, all kinds of different places. But I really enjoy this space. It's really, really fun to tap into. So I'm going to try to make some content with it. Maybe I'll eventually start reacting to some videos so that people can see the other sides and other elements of basketball as well. But I'm going to be previewing their pay-per-view that will be live tomorrow, that will happen tomorrow, December 6th. TNC 03, the first matchup. Well, before I get into that, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. But let's get into it because I'm super excited about this video. I'm super excited about this card and this pay-per-view. So can't wait to talk about it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know what I'm talking about and you'll go tap in yourself. If you do know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments who you think is going to win. Let me know your predictions for each matchup because that's what I'm about to do as I break down each matchup. But let's get into it. We're going to start with the free YouTube matchup, which if you have never watched 1v1 basketball on YouTube, this is the game that you would want to see because the entertainment factor from both of these guys, one being Ryan Perilla, the other being Jordan Lewis, aka J. Lou. Rilla Bucks is Ryan's nickname. Both of these players super shifty. J. Lou is more of the shifty, like super shifty guard. Likes to get downhill, can shoot the mid-range a little bit, doesn't shoot the three ball very well. Ryan, on the other hand, very shifty, but can shoot from half court efficiently. Like, has had multiple games where he's just gone crazy from deep threes. The thing for Ryan is, like, he doesn't play a ton of defense. So in a game like this could hurt him because J. Lou is an offensive player as well, and J. Lou is a better defender than him, and I think has longer arms, so that length could be a problem for Ryan. But I do think Ryan is more experienced at this point. I don't want to say more experienced, but has more momentum going into this game than J. Lou does because Ryan's been on the scene recent. J. Lou hasn't really. He's been making his own kind of content, but he hasn't really been doing like one-on-ones to 30. He's gone to the UK and played a few times over there, but not necessarily the way that the Next Chapter does, where you're playing one-on-ones very, very often. So for this game, I've been going back and forth. This is the game that I've been going back and forth with the most on. The rest of the games, I'm pretty like dead set on who I think is gonna win. This one, I originally said J. Lou, then I was Ryan, then I was low-key back to J. Lou after I heard J. Lou talk to B. Ellis. But the more I think about it, I think I'm gonna go with Ryan. Just the ability to be able to shoot the jab three and be able to shoot the three from far, and he's really good at getting to the rim too. Like, he's a great three-point shooter for sure, but he's really good at getting to the rim and just making acrobatic layups and shots that you wouldn't think that somebody's supposed to be able to make. So I think that'll help him. Him having the shot will help him against J. Lou. But he has to play defense. If he doesn't guard, J. Lou could win this rather easily. And I love J. Lou, original Freaker Fam guy. J. Lou's one of my guys. But I really like what Ryan has done over the last, I don't know, maybe 4 to 5 months. It really hasn't been that long. He came into one of the seasons. I think their last season was Chapter 2, Season 2. So I think that was like maybe during the summer. Maybe it was before the summer. But yeah, I've been enjoying watching him ever since then. First matchup of the main card. Isote versus Caleb Huffman, aka C4. C4 is a guy that plays pro overseas. He's like 6'5", can shoot from everywhere, 5 level or 3 level scorer, I guess in ones, 3 level scorer, super smooth, super efficient, really good defender as well. And ISO Tay is one of the best defenders in the space, and the nickname ISO Tay is ISO Tay for a reason. He's a great one-on-one scorer. Some in the past he would do too much with the ball, and now he's gotten to a point where he's simplified the game a little bit more. This is gonna be an interesting matchup because C4 has the height matchup. I would say, I don't know who is like stronger in a one-on-one sense, because Tay has the bigger frame, but C4 might be a little bit, I don't know. This is gonna be a really interesting matchup. We saw it in Warzone. I think that might have been like over a year ago at this point. It's a long while ago, honestly. We saw it like a little bit. We didn't really see it. I don't think we saw it one-on-one. I think Tay played Keyshawn one-on-one, and then Caleb played someone else, and then they played in a 1v1 tag team, or tag team 1v1. So this will be a really interesting matchup. Tay needs this win. He's 0 for 2 on pay-per-view as he lost to Zay in TNC 01, and he lost to Rob in TNC 02. And the TNC 01 was a tough one because they had some technical difficulties during their game, so they had to stop a few times and then restart. And then Zay hit like 4 threes, which at that point people didn't think he could shoot, and he was just so downhill. So it was like, damn, if he's gonna make 4 threes on you, then it is what it is. But Zay just did the same thing to Bruce a couple weeks ago in OTD and Ball of Slice pay-per-view. So Zay is a pro. He can shoot the ball. And then in the second game, I think he was up 28-20 or 29-20 on Rob. Missed multiple free throws with the game on the line. No, I think it was 29-20. And he missed multiple free throws. Like, all he had to do was make 1 free throw. I think it was twice that he went and missed. And Rob made a miraculous comeback, being able to shoot from half and just walking him down, ends up winning that game. So those are 2 guys. I mean, at a certain when Tay played Zay, he was considered either 1 or 2 because he was undefeated and he had beat Nas, but he hadn't played Rob. He hadn't played everybody yet. But then Rob had not played against Zay yet, and he was still coming off that Scoob loss. And then he responded with the Scoob loss, or to the Scoob loss, playing a different style. Ended up beating Zay eventually, and also beating Tay. So it's like Tay has played 2 of the top guys in the space, so him having those losses isn't terrible. But, and obviously C4 is not a bad player at all. C4 is probably, if he's like fully entrenched in the space and not playing overseas, he's probably like top 10 to 15 like combined. Like, that's how talented he is. So this is a really interesting matchup. I'm gonna go Tay just because I feel like Tay needs this win more. But C4 is one of those guys. So like if he gets rolling, I don't want to say it's gonna get ugly because Tay gonna fight back, but it could be a long night for Tay. Keon and Reese. This is another matchup that's like offense versus offense. Keon doesn't play a ton of defense. He plays enough defense in one-on-ones to help him go on his scoring runs. Reese is probably a little bit better of a defender, but he is very handsy, and they've been calling some travels on him recently, so it'll be interesting to see how they manage, his footwork and things like that. But both of these guys are shifty. Both of these guys can shoot the 3. Both of these guys can get to the rim. Very crafty scorers. So this is going to be a really fun matchup as well. Very important matchup for Keon, because if Keon wins, he could end up playing another one of the top guys. And Reese can just fully establish himself if he wins this game. He played lat and was down 28 to 12 or something bad, and came all the way back and almost won. I think it was it ended up being 20 or 30 to 26, 30-27, something like that. So Reese has a chance to really solidify. And Reese is coming from a guy that just played in their showcase, won the showcase, played the guy he was in the finals and beat that guy 30-1. Yes, 30-1. They played to 32s and 3s, and he won 30-1. So he's an elite scorer. He's an elite player. But I just don't know if he's gonna be able to slow down Keon. Keon in one-on-ones has been phenomenal. He beat Hoodie Kell 30-9. He beat Burke 30. I guess the game didn't finish because Burke ended up hurting himself, but it was 20. It was 28, 29 to 10 or 12 at that point. So, like, that game was over. Yeah, I'm going to go with Keon on this one, but I like both players. I like Reese a lot, too. And he's, like, fully, like, a man of God. Like, every time he gets the opportunity, he gives thanks to God. So, definitely want to give a shout-out to Reese as well. Then we got Day Day versus Lat. Battle of the Michigan guys. Day Day is the reason that Lat is even on the scene. Not in the terms of, like, he made him, but when they went to Michigan, Day Day put the teams together. Lat was on one of the teams, or put the players together to play on that card. Lat was one of the players. He actually didn't play that well in the city event, but then he went to the war zone, and that's when he dropped 85 points in one game. Yes, I said 85 points. Now, the scoring system of that game was a little bit different. It wasn't like they played 5-on-5 and he scored 85. It was a tag team 1v1, but it's 1v1 to 100, and so basically the first two players start. The first person to get to 20, that other player is off, and then it goes on and goes on and goes on. That one player doesn't get off until there's 20 points scored on them cumulatively. I don't even know why I couldn't just say that word, but y'all know what I was trying to say. Basically, he played Keyshawn. He beat him. I think it was 21-0, 20-0 when he got him off. Then he got, I forgot his name. He got the other dude off. It was 41-5. He got another guy off. It was like 61, 62 to like 12 or something like that. And he ended up scoring 85, and Burke got him off. And the score was like, I don't know, 85-20 something at that point. So yeah, like, Lat is one of them guys. I think he's probably a top 5 scorer in the space, if not top 3. And Day Day's, again, like I said about Tay, is one of the best defenders in the space. Day Day is another guy that played a lot of really tough matchups and was losing those, and now he's come back on like a redemption tour of sorts and has been winning all of his matchups. He beat Jay Horn, he beat Kel. So yeah, he's been on a redemption tour. He's been shooting the 3-ball really well. If he's shooting the 3-ball well tomorrow night, I think he has a really good chance of winning. But I just think Lat is just too potent offensively. Now, Day Day does have the size advantage on him and the length advantage on him, so that could slow down Lat a little bit. But Lat has seen him play before. Lat knows what he's gonna try to do, and Lat is the ultimate pro when it comes to scoring. So I'm gonna take Lat in this game. Then we got Rob versus DA. We got DA, the guy that Lance bigged up, and DA was at the Indiana series and was talking a lot of trash. Said he wanted to be in the scene, wanted to play, and Rob is, at least on TNC's part, he's the number one guy. Rob is the number one guy on TNC, arguably number one guy. It's between him and Nas in the entire space. So a lot of people are just like, yeah, it's gonna be a wash. It's gonna be cooked. Like, DA gonna get cooked. I don't know if he's gonna get cooked. I don't know if it's gonna be super close. This is one of those weird games though that, like, you have like a weird nervousness about, if like things could go wrong. But I trust Rob, and I've seen Rob get out of a lot of different situations already. And I think he's just so focused on what he can do and how he can become the best player in the space. I just don't see him losing this matchup. He's got the size advantage. He's got the experience in the 1v1 space. Like, a lot of pros come into this 1v1 space and they're not really ready for that conditioning. And a lot of people think like, oh, 1v1s is like, no, man, they're playing to 30, 2s and 3s. And you're like, 1v1s are tough even if you're going to like 11. Like, you can get gassed really easily. You're going to 30. Like, unless you run off 15 straight, which no one has done, you're going to be gassed at some point. So he's got to factor that part in. And I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, figure that out, and still beat Rob. He's going to have to be like super, super efficient. And I just don't know if that's going to happen because Rob is the bigger guy. He's going to be able to get to the rim if he wants to. And if you back up so that he can't get by you and can't use his shoulder, then he's going to pull from half, and that's just cash. So, I don't know, man. I'm going to go Rob. I don't think it's going to be like 30-14, 30-15 like people are saying, but I think it's probably going to be like 30-20, 30-21, something like that. Then we got the main event. You got my dog Cam So Smooth. You got Moon. All right, this part got cut out, so I'm going to redo it because you guys didn't see it. But for the Cam So Smooth part of it, I wanted to let it be known that he came from Friga's channel, where I had just really started tapping in with Friga stuff, where he was doing like the park runs and things like that. And then he turned it into this game series that he did, where he was taking guys from, he would go to these different cities, do park runs, and the best guy that he would play there, he would bring onto his game series and play on his second channel, and they play in a tournament of 1v1s. If they win that, then I think they were winning like a certain amount of money, and then eventually, they just end up joining Friga Fan. Sydney, who I went to college with, from Charleston, was the guy from Charleston. Cam was the guy from Charlotte, and then a guy named John L was the guy from Jacksonville, Florida. So seeing the fact that he showed up to a park run where Friga was playing in Charlotte, he wasn't even planning on playing. For one, he didn't bring his shoes. He had to wear somebody else's shoes. They had to convince him to play, and then when he played so well that Friga brought him to, I think they were in Florida. He brought him to Florida, or flew him out to Florida. They played. He ended up winning. And the rest is kind of history, but now it's kind of full circle of like this TNC pay-per-view is in Charlotte, his backyard, where it really all started for him. This is where his journey in terms of 1v1 basketball, at least, and on YouTube started. So seeing him have this opportunity in this magnitude of a game in Charlotte is just so crazy. And it's such a wild, like, just 180, or not even 180, 360 to just like full circle spin to just see like, damn, like sometimes when you don't expect things, that's when things happen. I don't know, bro. It's just like, just seeing his journey. I think that was in 2022, maybe 2023. The years kind of, I feel like it might have been 2023, but it's only been about 3 years that he's been around Friga and around this one-on-one space, and now he's in this huge game where there's a card, or there's a second main event game. There's a number one guy on this, one of the number one guys in the space, against the overseas pro that has a lot of namesake and a lot of adulation, and a lot of other pros, NBA guys bigging him up. They're the co-main event. Like, Cam is the last game. Like, that's crazy. But I wanted to make sure that part was in it, because it's very important that people know where his story come from and things like that. So, yeah. If it's a little choppy, there's some technical difficulties, so that's why. But like I was saying, Cam has really come full circle. One of my favorite guys in this space. Super entertaining, and he's really locked in this past year. I don't think he's lost a one-on-one game this year. Which is big, because he had lost some games in the past year that was like, you shouldn't lose those kind of games, but it is what it is. He locked in, he sacrificed some things that he needed to sacrifice. And I think a big piece of that was his daughter being born, and just, playing for her and playing for his family and things like that. So he definitely deserves a lot of credit, and definitely picking him, and it's a little biased. But I also think like he's just on such a big momentum. He's on such a wave of just making things happen for himself, that I just don't know. I just don't see him losing. Like, obviously there is a world where he does, because Moon is one of the best players in the space and is a top 3 guy on TNC. So obviously Cam could lose this game. But in Charlotte, with everything on the line, I feel like Cam this is his moment. This is his time to just go out and just for sure solidify himself as one of the top guys in this space, not just in TNC, but in this space. And TNC 01, he beat Mike Harden. He was a pro guy, played for the Knicks G League team. He beat Lat, like I said earlier, one of the best offensive players in the space. And a lot of people think, like, pound for pound, probably top 5 in the space right now. So to have those 2 wins on your resume is huge. And he was down 28-20 against Lat. I think he went and got a layup, he went and got a layup, hit a 3, got a layup, like back-to-back layups, and then hit a 3, something like that. Like, just a wild flurry of shots to end up winning that game. I just feel like everything has been written so perfectly for him this year. Like, this is the perfect way to cap it off. But if Moon wins, I wouldn't be surprised. I won't be mad. But I would say Cam is probably my favorite guy in this space between him and Friga. Just because Friga does a lot of things. Like, a lot of this is in part to what Friga had started doing a couple years ago. So he deserves a lot of credit. Obviously, there's other guys that did it before. I'm not saying that they don't. Like guys like Devin Alab and Marcellus and people like that. Like they all played a huge piece in this. But I think this specific, like 1v1 pay-per-view, all that stuff, like Friga has a huge piece of that and huge portion of that. So he deserves a lot of credit as well. But this is gonna be a really fun card. It's gonna be really fun matchups all around. If you guys want to check it out, do that. It's on TNC League. It's only, I think, $10, $11. You get to watch 5 games. You can watch the game on YouTube for free. So it's a lot of great matchups, a lot of great basketball. If you enjoy watching basketball the way I do, tap in with it. Not just the next chapter, but you got like Ball is Life OTD as well. There's a lot of great basketball being played everywhere, not just collegiately and professionally. There's great basketball everywhere. So if you are a basketball junkie the way I am, tap in with it. You're gonna love it, I promise. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.